Okay, today we are going to start a new chapter that is called as Zygomycetes, and this Zygomycetes is included under the kingdom fungi, and normally Zygomycetes are regarded as the lower fungi. So these are regarded as the lower fungi. So Zygomycetes are regarded as the lower fungi. So Zygomycetes are called as conjugation fungi. Why they are called as conjugation? Because the sexual mode of reproduction is by means of conjugation tube. It is by means of a conjugation tube. So as the reproduction takes place with the help of a conjugation tube, so this type of reproduction, so this type of fungi is called as conjugation fungi. And the class of this particular Zygomycetes is these are mostly terrestrial fungi. But later we have discussed that Oomycetes, and Oomycetes is normally of aquatic fungi. But Zygomycetes is also included under lower fungi, but which is terrestrial in their mode of habitat. And mostly they are saprophytic, means they survive on dead organism, and rarely parasitic. They are pathogenic, means if they are parasitic means they are pathogenic in nature. Got it? Now the hyphal wall contains chitin or the fungal cellulose, but in Oomycetes we have discussed that the hyphal wall is made up of cellulose with fungal chitin, but here it is totally 100% chitin or fungal cellulose. It is the distinct character of this particular fungi that is called as Zygomycetes. So these are the Zygomycetes view, and these are the structured sporangiospores, and these are the sporangiospores, these are the sporangia present. So we'll later discuss details into it. The mycelium is sinusoidal like the one found in Oomycetes, means when we move to its hypha, the hypha is multinucleated. Sinusoidal means they are multinucleated, means they don't have any septum. So as they don't have any septum, it is called as aseptate, because they don't have any septum, and these are nucleus. So as the nucleus, this is multinucleated. It is multinucleated. So as it is multinucleated, we do call them as what? The sinusoidal in their habitat. And the body, and this is the hypha, and this is the plant body that is called as hypha or the mycelium. So the mycelium is aseptate and it is sinusoidal. So this indicates that they are regarded under, that is called as lower fungi. So lower fungi are mostly sinusoidal in their structure. Now the motile cells are absent. As we have discussed, these are terrestrial fungi. So motile spores like zoospore or planogametic spores, these all are absent. So they don't have flagella in the life cycle. But mitospores are non-motile, means the spores produced by mitosis. The spore produced by mitosis. The spores produced by mitosis are called as mitospore. Got it? And these mitospores are non-motile, means they don't have flagella. So no flagella is present. So they don't have flagella. So normally it is found that in this Zygomycetes, they contains a sac-like structure that is called as sporangia. They contain a sac-like sporangia. Inside sporangia, we find the non-motile spores are present. So inside sporangia, we find the non-motile spores are present. So when the spores gets matured and the sporangia matured, then the sporangia breaks a burst and release the spores. So these spores are non-motile, but with the help of wind, they transfer from one place to another place. This is how the mode of reproduction takes place, that is with the help of mitospores. And the stalk of this sporangia is called as sporangiospore. Sporangiospore. Got it? So the stalk is called as sporangiospore. So now let's discuss. So they don't have non-motile spores, so their sporangiospores are present, yes, and the spores are formed inside the sac that is called as sporangia. So we know that this is the stalk and this is the sac. The sac is called as sporangia. The sac is called as sporangia. Inside we find the non-motile spores are present, and these non-motile spores are called as sporangiospores, and the stalk is called as sporangiophore. So the stalk is called as sporangiophore. So this is how the asexual mode of reproduction takes place, and inside the sporangiospores, and these sporangiospores are otherwise called as mitospore, because these are produced with the help of mitosis. The sporangia borne on the tips of special hypha called as sporangiophores. Just we have discussed that these sporangia, these are the sporangia present, yes, These are the sporangia present, and the stalk. The stalk is called as sporangiophores. Sexual reproduction occurs by gametangial contact, copulation or conjugation. Means the sexual reproduction normally takes place by, that is, conjugation tube. With the help of conjugation, the sexual reproduction do takes place. So as the sexual reproduction with the help of conjugation tube, so this type of Zygomycetes is otherwise called as conjugation fungi. So it is called as the conjugation fungi because due to the mode of reproduction, that is called as sexual reproduction is by means of gametangial copulation or as conjugation. The gametes are formed commonly. For example, suppose the gametes so formed. Suppose this is a particular hypha. This is one kind of species and they have a gamete, and these are the gametes present. And it is another hypha present, another organism, and they also have the gametes. Got it? So here what happened, they both unite. So it is conjugation. So after the union, we find that they form a common sporangia. They form a gametangia. So inside this gametangia, the gametes are produced. And here the gametes so produced, these gametes are called as cynogametes. Cynogametes. Got it? Suppose this is one species and this is one species. So both the species comes and unite, and this is called as conjugation. And when they undergo conjugation, they produce this cynogametic conjugation gametes. And after sometimes what happen? And from this cynogametic conjugation, the spores are developed. The spores will be developed from this conjugation. And here we'll find zygospore, etc. We'll discuss later. So this is how the gametes are formed, and the gametes are multinucleated. Yes. This inside the gametes, the gametangia, these are multinucleated. And the sexual reproduction produces a resting diploid spore that is called as zygospores. So once, suppose this is the cynogamete present, and when the cynogametes they unite, they produce a zygote that is called as 2N. This is called as zygote. And this zygote disperses to form that is called as a spore. And this spore is called 2N spore, and this is called as zygote forming spore is called as zygospore. So when the zygote develops into a spore, that is called as zygospore, and this zygospore is normally diploid. Normally spores are haploid, but here the condition is different because in sexual reproduction after conjugation, we find both the N unites and we find 2N, and this 2N zygote develops, and this zygote develops into spores. So as the zygote develops into spores, so these spores are called as what? Now zygospores. So because of the presence of zygospore, the group of the fungi is otherwise called as Zygomycetes. Got it? Why? Now due to the presence of zygospore. What is zygote? Now zygote forming spore. Zygote develops into zygospore, or zygote develops into spore is called as zygospore. So as this group of fungi produce direct zygote into a resting stage, and this resting stage converts into a spore that is called as zygospore, for which it is regarded as Zygomycetes. So let's talk about, this is what the structure of our sporangia, and we are taking two examples that is called as Rhizopus and Mucor. So let's talk. For example, so these are the sporangia present, this is the sporangia part present, and inside sporangia we find the small spores are present that is called as Sporangiospores are present, and within the sporangia we find a swollen region present to provide nourishment that is called as columella, and the stalks are present that is called as Sporangiospores are present, and here we find the hypha is attached with another hypha with another group of sporangia, and this connection is called as stolon. Got it? And each group of hypha, they gives out mass of hypha that is called as rhizoidal hypha, looking like a false root-like structure. And this is the condition of rhizopus, for which it is called as rhizopus. But in the mucor, we find the sporangia as usual, the sporangiospores as usual, and but here what happened, the hypha is network. It is a network of mycelium. So in my mucor we find the hypha is network of mycelium, whereas in rhizopus we find they are present in root-like structure, false root-like structure. So it is called as rhizoidal hypha. So it develops from a single point like a root-like structure, and each this group is connected to another group with a common hypha, and this common hypha is called as the stolon. So this is the condition of Zygomycetes, both example, that is Rhizopus and Mucor. So in Mucor we find a mycelium like network present, at lower end. And these are the exposed part, sporangia, that do produce sporangiospores for, that is, asexual mode of reproductions. Okay, so this is how, that is, asexual reproduction takes place in sporangia. For that, this is a mucor present, sporangia, and all this. So zygospores differs from oospore. Yes, zygospore and oospore, they both are lower fungi, and in that formation, that is, distinct food-laden female gametophyte is not produced. In oospore, what happens when the oospore is produced? Suppose this is the oospore present. Suppose this the oospore is present. So inside the oospore, the food is present, heavy nourishment is present. But inside zygospore, inside zygospore, less food is present, The difference is that. So in zygospore, we find less food present, whereas in oospore, we find maximum amount of food is present. So this is the basic difference. And zygospore is the site of meiosis. Yes, as we got 2n, this is zygospore, this is 2n, and they will produce spore. And we know very well spores are n. So to produce spore, then they undergo what? Meiosis. And this 2n is what? This is the zygospore. This is the zygospore. So the zygospore undergo meiosis. Like oospore undergo meiosis, oomycetes undergo meiosis, here zygospore undergoes meiosis. And we find zygospore does not give rise to a new mycelium directly. Yes, suppose this is the zygospore present. Got it? This is zygospore present. Zygospore. So they undergo meiosis to produce spore. Which is n, and this is 2n. And this spore give rise to mycelium. They give rise to mycelium, which is not a true mycelium. It is not a true mycelium. It is a resting mycelium. It is a primary mycelium. And this primary mycelium is of different types. That is, this mycelium so produced is called as sporangium, that is germ sporangium. So this zygospore, this is zygospore, and this zygospore produce spore, and this produce an irregular type of sporangium, and this is called as germ sporangium. This is called as germ sporangium. So germ sporangium is regarded as the intermediate stage. So germ sporangium is regarded as the intermediate stage, because we find this 2n zygospore undergoes meiosis to produce n, and they directly never gives rise to new mycelium. They gives rise to an intermediate stage that is called as the germ sporangium. So this is the germ sporangium so produced. So it is the basic condition of Zygomycetes. The germ sporangium forms meiospores called germ spores. So from the germ sporangium, the spores are produced. And these spores are called as germ spore. And as we know, the germ sporangium is n, so they give rise to meiospore, and these germ sporangium, they germinate to a new mycelium. They then germinate to a new mycelium, or the advanced mycelium, or the adult mycelium of Zygomycetes. So, but sometimes gametangial fails to fuse. Sometimes if the gametangial is unable to fuse or unable to go for copulation, then a new stage is produced, and that is called as Azygospore is produced. So not zygospore, Azygospore is produced, where the gametangium, suppose this is the gametangium present, gametangium present, and inside on gametangium, we find a cyst-like structure is present. So outside we find that a thick wall, this is a cyst is present. And this particular spore together, it is called as Azygospore. Got it? So this is the condition when we find that there is absence of gametangial contact. It is only found when there is absence of gametangial copulation. Got it? So this condition is only possible if there is absence of gametangial copulations. Okay, so Azygospore is parthenogenetically produced. Yes, it is a parthenogenetic process. So this is a very important question. In Zygomycetes, a parthenogenetic spore is produced and that is called as Azygospore. Now let's move towards diseases. Some important points about Zygomycetes, and we know Rhizopus stolonifer is a group of Zygomycetes which is popularly known as black bread mold. Very important question. That is Rhizopus stolonifer or nigricans. They are called as black bread mold. Mucor mucido is called as dunk mold or pin mold because on cow dung we find this looking like a pin-like structure, alpine-like structure. These molds are looking alpine-like structure. But when we find the bread, some black structures are present on the bread patches, and this black patches is due to this Rhizopus stolonifer. So Rhizopus mucors are the common saprophytic fungi that attack variety of foodstuffs. Yes. So these are the group of fungi that causes diseases and attack a variety of foodstuffs. Soft rot or leek disease of strawberry, apple, jackfruit and sweet potato is due to Rhizopus. So we find that on the fruits, some area there are black patches are present and very soft. And this soft part, the soft and this groove part or depression part is called as the soft rot or the leek disease. So this soft rot or leek disease found to be present in fruits. Most of the fruits are affected by Zygomycetes of Rhizopus, and this Rhizopus do causes the disease that is called as soft rot or leek disease. And mucor causes infection to the organs, that is bronchitis. So in human beings, when human beings inhale mucor they causes infection to the internal organs. It's a very deadly disease. Absidia corymbifera causes bronchomycosis. It causes bronchitis. So it is the type of Zygomycetes that causes disease in human, that is Absidia corymbifera, which causes bronchomycosis disease. And Ramysin is the best Zygomycetes that produces antibiotics. It is used in medicine. It is obtained from Mucor rhamnosus. So normally Ramycin antibiotics is obtained from Mucor. It is rhamnosus. From rhamnosus we get this antibiotics. It is a helpful process we use in medical purpose. So it is used in medicine or medical purposes. So this we have completed the detailed structure of Zygomycetes, its importance and its general character and also the disease. Now let's go for some practice questions. Let's go for assertion reasoning. Zygomycetes is called conjugation fungi. Yes, true. Why? In the sexual reproduction zygomycetes occur through gametangial copulation conjugation. Yes. So the right answer is here. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation. Second question, which of the following statement about Zygomycetes is incorrect? The mycelium is cynocytic. It is correct. Sexual reproduction occurs through gametangial copulation. It is correct. Motile cells, they don't have motile cells. They don't have motile cells. So this one is incorrect. The sexual spore, as we know. Third question, which structure acts as the resting diploid spores in zygomycetes? Very easy question. That is zygospore. Zygospore is called as the resting diploid spore. Why are zygomycetes known as the conjugation fungi? Because the sexual reproduction occurs by gametangial copulation or gametangial conjugation. Yes, this is the right answer. And the fifth question, which of the following is a characteristic feature of Zygomycetes? Motile zoospores are produced, no. The cell wall contains cellulose, no. Sporangiospores are produced inside sporangia bone. Yes, this is the correct answer. Sporangia, no. Got it? So we have discussed 5 questions, but we can get ample amount of questions. You can discuss maximum question of each chapter, 1000 plus question. You can go for it. So you go to this particular channel or this particular site where you will find maximum questions present per chapter, 1000 plus question in each chapter with explanation. And also you can go for any online exam practice equivalent to your exam format practice. If you want an online class, you can go to this particular site. Or if you want all mind maps, all PDFs, worksheet of each and every chapters, you can follow this particular site. Or you can contact our DM to this particular number. And if you want to get direct PDF and mind maps, worksheet and questions, you can join our channel and get from here. So this is all about the Zygomycetes, and we have completed Zygomycetes in details. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you.